Hi, it's May the 18th, 2022. Um, yeah, I'm just plodding along here. Um, yeah, I mean, it's putting, it's whatever, man. It's just trying to fucking get through it, man. Um, I don't know, man. I feel as though there's so much I want to do. And I hate that I don't have the time or the fucking energy to fucking get it done, man. I mean, I got a friend in New York I really want to visit. It's like I just don't have the opportunity to go do it. I got a fucking, I want to go down to Mexico. I want to visit down there, and I don't fucking seem to, I need to get my passport, I got a lot I gotta fucking do, man. And, it's just a struggle, man. I got the kids, I gotta deal all the summer fucking bullshit. It's like, it's too much right now. And, I guess I feel very overwhelmed. I feel very much like life's just too difficult. There's too much to try to take care of. And, so I'm struggling, man. I'm struggling with life, man. Life's very difficult right now. And, it's just nose to the fucking grindstone, man. It's just grinding, working hard, trying to keep my head above fucking water, man. And more and more people around the world are just sinking and just realizing that they just don't have the ability to keep their head above water anymore. And when that happens, that's when things typically start getting violent. We're seeing that now in Sri Lanka. A couple hundred people, it sounds like, have died already. It's some kind of revolution that's begun there. Just, it's when the people can't eat that's when shit starts to hit the fan. And it's just that condition is just, it's really spreading, and it's really getting widespread. And the Fed's pretending that they are concerned about inflation, and it's like, oh, we're gonna raise rates to 2.5%. Like, they don't really understand inflation. They don't really understand that the inflation that we need to worry about the most is the food prices. And that shit ain't gonna stop, dude, because so much has been done to disrupt supply chains. So much has been done to destroy food production. Um, there's such a huge strain on the system, and the demand is so inelastic that it's just going to get worse and worse. And the solution is more food production, and you're not going to get that until you have freedom. So, until we get freedom, you can expect that incidents of starvation and violence will only increase. And unfortunately, there's a lot of people in this world who are just far too full of their own egos, and they're far too invested in these bad ideas that they hold as sacred, and they're unwilling to listen, and they're unwilling to open their minds to learn economics and to listen to me, who has a fucking solution that can start putting food on the table for the hungry people on this planet. And the longer it goes, the tougher it's going to be. Because even once we start doing the right thing, it's going to take time to build, to grow food, to get the production processes in place. Work's going to need to be done. But the longer it goes, the more desperate the situation's going to become. Will we survive? I don't know anymore, man. There was a time I was confident that we would just hit this point where people would accept that things are hopeless. The government, they would lose hope in government. They would lose hope in this financial system and become willing. And thus far, on a widespread scale, this really hasn't happened. And things have gotten worse. Things have gotten really, really bad. And it's really shitty that, it's really in America where people are still able to live off this credit, and the starvation isn't as bad as it is in a lot of other places. And so all these innocents around the world are having to suffer because America isn't doing shit right. Because Americans are lazy and entitled and full of their own fucking egos and superficial and judgmental, and they take credit for every fucking good thing that happens in their life while placing blame for every bad thing that happens in their lives. And it's just real sad. It's just real sad to live in a world like this. And it's sad to consider that we may end up losing a very large percentage of the population, because even though there's a solution, the credit bubble obscures the problem, and we are digging ourselves deeper and deeper into economic hell, and yet we don't see it because we're still able to live off this credit card that is going to hit its limit. So I'm trying to think if there's anything at all that really gives me hope at this time. I mean, I guess God gives me hope. I guess the idea that there's just something that's going to happen, or some miracle that I'm just unaware of, is going to happen, because, God has shown me miracles before. Miraculous things have happened before, and I don't want to underestimate His ability to perform another miracle and to somehow get us to the other side and to the new world. without going through just a massive loss of life. So, some people say, life doesn't have much value because, you'll be reincarnated, etc. I don't know the truth of that, man. It's a nice idea, but I don't know if it's a true idea. It felt like when I made the decision to not move on, when I made the decision to stay here, that I was leaving behind that opportunity, that joy. And I was placing myself back in hell. That maybe I was gonna get to a point where I wouldn't really fit in there real good. And I actually would fit in better here amongst others who have suffered and others who can understand my suffering. Because on the other side of the veil, they don't suffer like that, man. They don't understand what it is that we go through on this plane, in this place. They don't understand the pain. They don't understand the heartache and the suffering that we experience while we are here. That it could only be a human being that could heal me. There's business that needs to be done. There are demands that need to be served. I want you to know that the decisions I make are done because there's things that need to happen on this planet, and there are there are changes that need to happen. Each one of us has a role to fill, a role to play. And my role is what it is. People have a lot of ideas about the way other people are supposed to act. They have a lot of fast rules. You're supposed to do this, you're not supposed to do that. But you can't be an absolutist like that, man. You have to look at it like, what is gonna do the greatest good? Sometimes, no matter what decision you make, someone's gonna get hurt. And it's just a matter of deciding what decision's going to hurt the least people and do the most good for the most people. You know, I sometimes think about my situation and I think, man, it's gonna be fucking hell. It's gonna be fucking tough once this shit hits the fan. It's gonna be tough for me. And then I think, God, look at all these other fucking people, not even prepared, not even cognizant of what's happening, not, they're gonna be completely blindsided, like, what's gonna happen, man? And, I think we're gonna see a lot of suicides, dude. I think a lot of people, you know, they're gonna lose all their investments. They're gonna lose their whole life, everything they've worked for, everything they've put effort into, everything they've taken credit for. It's just all gonna be taken from them, and what world will be left for them, right? Because they're not gonna know, oh, in a couple weeks we're gonna have a fucking free world and we're gonna have opportunities built from scratch and like we're gonna have to work hard. They're not gonna understand any of that. They're gonna see everything collapse. They're not gonna have any hope. They're not gonna see any reason. Now maybe, you know, maybe some of them got kids, people they care about. Maybe they decide that's just, they're gonna stick it out. They're gonna, you know, everyone's gonna be different. But I just think a lot of people are gonna make that decision. So from a purely practical standpoint, I feel like there's gonna be a lot of like bodies that are gonna need to be taken care of. And you know, cities, states, they're gonna have very little funding for things like that. So we might need volunteers, you know, because bodies spread disease, and the last thing we're gonna need is widespread disease, because we're gonna have other factors that are gonna be contributing to disease, and one of those factors is people have been isolated behind masks and all this bullshit for a long time. So that's going to contribute to disease. People are going to be migrating a lot, looking for opportunities. That's going to contribute to disease. People are, they're not going to, the food and the water, so some of that's going to be compromised, you know. It's going to take time. Even once we're free, it's going to take some time for people to get reputations for producing clean water and clean food, and so there's going to be a lot of factors contributing to disease, and the last thing we need is a bunch of bodies around attracting, you know, maggots and flies and all these other creatures that can then spread this disease, and the decomposing and all this. So these bodies are going to be a real problem, and people are going to be real busy. You know, maybe some people will do this for money, like, you got someone you need me to haul off, I'll take care of it, maybe that'll be an opportunity someone can have. But there's going to be there's going to be houses and stuff, no one's really there. We're going to have need for people to go around and take care of this. And so you know, it'd be nice if, the people who have a lot of gold and a lot of silver, I want to say that, like, the world's gonna need you guys. It's gonna need you guys to have compassion. Um, and to say that, yeah, like, I'm very gonna be a wealthy man, but our society has a lot of fucking pressing needs, and we want to keep people, we need people to have enough hope, enough resources to make it through so that things don't deteriorate into violence and all this crazy shit. And one thing maybe some people can contribute to is paying guys to collect these bodies and put them somewhere, because and that will be helpful too if we're talking about we're going to be on a gold standard. A lot of people don't have gold. Doing something like that, taking a little bit of your wealth and being like, hey, I'm going to pay you guys this much to fucking do this, that distributes some of that money, that liquidity, and you want to get gold dispersed throughout society as much as you can, so that different people have purchasing power, so they can make transactions happen, and it juices the economy. I mean, we're going to see what we can get out of that gold reserve. If there's anything there, distribute that. But I mean, it would be incredibly kind if some of the big gold holders did take a portion of their portfolio and they're just like, we're going to distribute some of this amongst the population, or amongst at least the older population, people can't work, things like that, just to try to take some of the pressure off this economy. And I'm not going to ask for anyone to do this stuff until we have freedom, because you do it right now, it's just going to be squandered. People aren't going to have that opportunity. So right now it's like, hold on to your gold, keep your gold, bury your gold, hide your gold, do what you got to do with your gold, keep it safe. But once we get freedom, it would really be awesome. It would really, really be fucking awesome. And go ahead and fucking flaunt what you're doing. Talk about your charity, because maybe then that'll build your reputation. Maybe then people start checking out your other businesses, want to do business, all this stuff. I mean, I'm not gonna say anyone has to. I'm not gonna be like, yeah, you're gonna be taxed. People need to go around stealing money at gunpoint and fucking redistributing it. But I will say that, like, there's gonna be a desperate fucking need for people to survive, and these people have been dependent on a government. They don't know. A lot of them don't have job skills. Plants got to be built. A lot of stuff has to happen. And, one thing to give away money. Another thing is you can pay guys to do work, like picking up bodies or other volunteer work, cleaning up trash, doing shit that's going to be needed to be done. Stuff maybe the government used to do, maybe, whatever. Pay guys to do that, clean up your neighborhood, clean up your communities, and distribute some of that capital. Give people some opportunity to make some money to support themselves and help the community out at the same time. I think doing stuff like that's going to be really important. So I guess I'd like to appeal to people who are large gold holders, who are going to have that capital. Once we get freedom, it'd be really awesome if you put some of that capital to work just on a charitable basis, to helping to rebuild our society. And keep enough for yourselves. You're going to be comfy and etc. And you got businesses you want to start, for profit type stuff, build plans, invest, all that. Do that stuff. But if you're sitting there and you got a bunch of gold and you're like, well, I don't really know what business to do, blah, blah, blah. It's like, doing something like that could really be beneficial to our economy. That's just, it's going to be in desperate fucking shape, man. And, so, yeah, as far as my life, I mean, I don't know, dude. I guess, I don't know, dude. I just, right now it's torment, dude. And I don't really know how to change that, but I can survive it, and I have survived it. I've survived it for years now, and it's maybe you don't understand it. You know, I have when I say torment, I mean I'm not even talking about just emotional torment. I'm talking about like physically in my like head. Like I feel like this pull, like it's not comfortable for me just to like sit here. Um, it's hard to explain, but it is physical pain and suffering, and it's what it is. I don't want to like make a big deal of it because I know a lot of people are suffering, and you know, I'll get through it. You know, I got some stuff that's good in my life, so I can just try to appreciate that stuff and just keep on keeping on, baby.